What if true danger wasn't announced with a roar, but felt in a silence so profound it commands the space around it? The world mistakes noise for strength and reaction for power. But the wisdom of the ancients, forged in the crucible of chaos, teaches a different truth. Here are 4 behaviors, born from Stoic philosophy, that instantly make you appear and become dangerously serene. 1. The mastery of ruthless emotional control. When the world provokes you, it expects a puppet's response. It pulls the strings of insult, of frustration, of chaos, and waits for you to dance. The common person reacts. They shout. They defend a fragile ego. They become predictable, and therefore, they are mastered. You, however, must choose a different path. You observe the provocation not as an attack, but as raw information. You do not suppress emotion. You dissect it with the cold blade of reason. Your calm is not weakness. It is a calculated response, a declaration that your inner citadel cannot be breached. As Epictetus warned, anyone capable of angering you becomes your master. By refusing to be angered, you refuse to be owned. This stillness is unnerving to those who thrive on chaos. They cannot predict you, and what people cannot predict, they cannot control. This is the first mark of true power. 2. The cultivation of absolute indifference to opinion. Society is a storm of judgments, a relentless tempest of praise and condemnation. Most people are adrift in this storm, tossed between the craving for applause and the fear of criticism. They trim their sails to catch the favorable wind of popular opinion, losing their own course in the process. You must become the bedrock beneath the waves. You must forge an inner compass of virtue and live by its true north, regardless of the weather. Marcus Aurelius observed the paradox. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. This is a cage you must dismantle. When you cease to explain yourself, when you no longer perform for validation, you become free. Your actions are not a plea for acceptance, but a statement of your principles. This freedom is dangerous to the world because it is unreachable. A person who is not seduced by praise cannot be manipulated, and a person who is not wounded by criticism cannot be broken. 3. The forging of dominion over desire. The world's levers of control are forged from a single metal, desire. The want for wealth, for status, for pleasure, for recognition. These are the chains that bind the masses. If they can discover what you crave, they can craft your cage. The path to invincibility, therefore, is not to have more, but to want less. You must systematically hunt down your attachments and dependencies and sever them with the discipline of a surgeon. This is not about a life of barren asceticism, but about conscious choice. You choose to endure voluntary hardship, not for punishment, but for training. You fast when you could feast. You embrace the cold shower. You choose the difficult task. You prove to yourself, again and again, that your will, not your appetite, is in command. Seneca reminds us, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. When you want nothing from the world has no power over you. You cannot be bribed, you cannot be tempted, and you cannot be threatened. You become a fortress, complete in yourself. 4. The command of strategic silence. In a world drowning in noise, silence is the most potent weapon. People rush to fill conversational voids, betraying their anxieties and insecurities with every nervous utterance. They believe speech is influence. You know better. You understand that silence is not absence, but presence. It is a shield and a scalpel. When others are loud, you are still. You listen. You observe. In that space, you gather information while they expend energy. When confronted with anger or insults, your silence becomes a mirror, forcing the aggressor to confront their own ugly reflection. It is not a passive retreat, but an active strategy. Your silence communicates that you are not rattled, that you are in command of the moment, and that you will respond, if at all, on your own terms. This chosen quiet unnerves people. It signals a mind so disciplined, it doesn't need to assert its existence with constant sound. Forge these behaviors not as a performance, but as the very architecture of your soul. Your objective is not to intimidate, but to become immovable. You rise by conquering not the world, but the battlefield of your own mind. Remember, the storm cannot shake the mountain. This is not just a video. It is a summons to forge your own throne of serenity.